Welcome to Star Citizen and 15 tips and tricks you should know. In this video, we'll show you 15 tips and tricks that can make your adventures in space easier, save you time or significantly increase your gameplay comfort. With the new inventory system, the extensive effects of the medical gameplay, as well as new missions and functions, we have many new possibilities that we can use. Our goal is to save you as much unnecessary travel and time as possible, as well as to improve your game experience. Tip number 1. Use pre-packed backpacks to provide yourself or your teammates with the appropriate equipment for different areas. A medical emergency bag, a backpack for combat or the exploration equipment are quickly at hand. And we will come back to these prepared backpacks in another tip. Thanks to Horistus McBlack for this tip. Tip number 2. Use the range of the inventory system. As soon as you are in a protection zone, you have access to the respective inventory area, which can be up to 15 kilometers for space stations or residence zones. This means you don't have to spend time landing and entering the station or planet to access your inventory there. And our prepared backpack from tip number 1, we can thus safely deposit again in the fast flyby or equip another one. And since every other player on board also has access to his own inventory, a whole crew can be equipped for the next mission in the flyby. This not only saves you landing, a long lift ride, but also possible dangerous situations, as you can optionally stay hidden. Tip 3. Use the inventory capacities as well as the available loot of the outposts. Each legal outpost has an enormous inventory capacity that you can access. Since this inventory exists for each player individually, you have another storage option here. You can also store the contents of the random loot boxes there, should you not need these items at the moment. This way you can set up various small storage facilities and always have free equipment at your disposal. Tip number 4 is remote access to all outposts. Similar to residence zones and space stations, you also have access to the inventory in the security areas of outposts directly from the ship. Tip number 5. Optimize your quantum jumps and shorten travel times. When you want to jump to other planets, you have several jump points that you normally have to fly to in order to reach a destination. However, you can save yourself the jumps within an area by manually leaving the quantum when you enter the planetary area. In the planetary area, you can then jump directly to your destination. This will save you several individual jumps, depending on the route. Tip number 6. Choose your own landing zone. As soon as we reach a landing zone or station, we will be asked for clearance, which normally means that we will be assigned a landing spot.
Proceed to assigned landing bay.
If, on the other hand, we fly directly to a pad or hangar that is free for our size of ship and then request clearance, we will in most cases very quickly be assigned that landing spot. And this works with ships of any size category, but the landing pad we choose must also be free.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
This saves us time again, because we don't have to search for the landing site, fly to it and finally land.
Landing complete. Have a pleasant stay.
Furthermore, this keeps us on the move, which can often be an advantage if there are jokers after us or if there is a battle going on at the station. Tip number 7. Should not be underestimated, as the medical gameplay and its effects can be considerable. Therefore, always take medical equipment such as the Cure Life tool with you wherever you go. Tip number 8 is to make use of your energy reserves. Especially when launching inside an atmosphere, you can use your boost very often and constantly by distributing the energy to the engines in order to get out of the atmosphere as quickly as possible. And especially with larger ships or when launching from Horizon, you can save several minutes of time. And the maximum energy distribution on the shields is also often a good idea with larger shields. Tip number 9. Now that food intake has become even more important, you can save time here too by taking rings of food immediately by holding down the left mouse button. Alternatively, this can also be done via the menu, but it takes longer and offers no advantage. Storing drinks in the inventory is of course possible. It is also possible to give food from your inventory to other players, regardless of whether they are in your group or even strangers. Thanks to Alcaris for this tip. Tip number 10 is not only recommended for space combat. With a padlock function, you can not only focus on enemies, but also on other players or other targets that can be activated, which means that you can always keep an eye on your target. You can find detailed information on this in the dedicated targeting guide here in the channel. You can learn about the differences between the padlock function as well as the possibilities of different hardware trackers up to the Tobii eye tracking. And of course, how to shoot guided rockets backwards. With tip number 11, we can refuel, rearm and repair our ship in any case by igniting some countermeasures like decoys before a landing. Otherwise, unfortunately, it often happens that repairs or refueling simply don't start. Tip number 12. If you want to refit the ship at another station outside your residence area, you can only access items that are on that station. In order to access the components of other ships, you must first claim them, after which you can access the components of the claimed ship. Furthermore, upgrading weapons or components is only possible if your ship is stored in the hangar. It is therefore advisable to choose the residence location according to your needs. But we will come to the selection of a residence zone in another tip in a moment. We have claimed the Saber Raven from our residence zone on New Babbage to our current location to access the components of this ship with our Gladius. And as a bonus tip, entry-level ships like a Titan Avenger or Nomad can be immediately claimed at another location. And of course, this also works with smaller ships like the Aurora. Tip number 13. To change your character equipment as quickly as possible or to store worn items in your inventory, you can double-click on an undersuit to move everything you currently have equipped directly into the inventory. Tip 14. Selecting a suitable residence zone. By selecting a residence once, you decide where all your items, ships and their components will be located. In the future, you will therefore have a regular connection to this original residence location, even if you change your medical location. So far, Area 18 and Lowville offer the advantage that you can respawn directly on the space station in orbit and save time. But Microtech, on the other hand, is a good choice for the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. The last tip is to copy the live version of the game onto your game directory and rename it to PTU. This way you don't have to download a completely new version, and you can rename it back to live afterwards, which keeps the amount of data small and gives you the most up-to-date version. And if you have other tips, please let me know. I hope you enjoyed the video and leave me a like, and maybe even a subscribe here. I hope we could help you with one or the other tip, improve your playing experience or simply save your time. If you have any other hints or tips, don't hesitate to let us know. We also noticed that many of the earlier tips were related to workarounds for bugs, whereas we currently only need one more tip. A good sign. But as always, I'm interested in your opinions on the subject. What do you think of the tips? Let me know in the video comments in Discord or in the almost daily Twitch live streams. But as always, the most important thing at the end, a big thank you to all supporters, whether Patreons, channel members or Twitch subscribers. Without you, this wouldn't be possible and you are enormous motivation for which we would like to say thank you, you rock! And of course, there will be extensive and top-notch giveaways from the best partners and us again this month. You can find how to take part and what to expect in the announcement trailer. Good luck! I say goodbye until next time, see you soon, and as always, see you in the verse.